Welcome to the October 7th, 2021 Reuben Hoare Library Trustees meeting. So we will jump right into our agenda. Any public participation?
I don't see anybody.
Correspondence?
None.
All right, approval of minutes from September 2nd. Has everyone had a chance to review them?
Move to accept the minutes from September 2nd.
I second.
All right, and we'll do roll call. Mark? Mark is waving his hand to Mira.
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And Kimberly?
Yes.
And I'll assume that thumbs up for Mark is a yes. I'm also a yes.
Yes, my headset was coming in and out, so I had
Okay.
to start them and then, yeah.
Great. All right. So the treasurer's report.
Okay, switching back to my other browser. Okay, I just forwarded we did get the Barth report. I do have the amounts for the 3 different accounts. Chris, I forwarded them to you so that you have them via our library accounts, but also I'll just say them out loud for the record. Library trustee gifts, $4,187.40. Building fund, $934,745.01. And state grant, $3,518,546.32.
Awesome. All right. Anything else for treasurer's report?
Nope.
Sam, do you know where we going for the, there was talk with Brian a little while ago about trying to get the 4th grant payment. Is that still happening, or is that we're waiting on something now?
So we can't do that until we open and have a certificate of occupancy. So
Okay.
Yeah, it's not until after that. But once we do that, we're gonna ask them.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
We must be getting close to that. Okay. How about the Friends report?
Okay, so they, reported membership income so far about $2,700. And they approved money, $100 for the series of virtual Halloween programs in collaboration with the Tewksbury Library. There was discussion about a student and or young adult representative on the Friends board. Kathy reviewed the bylaws, which state that any board member 18 and above can vote. They're still thinking about what role an under 18 representative would play, if they're going to include that as well. And they will try to solicit volunteers, middle school age and up, if anybody is interested in becoming a junior board member. And then the Friends dues will stay the same for 2022, except they're going to add a student level membership with annual dues of $5. And then Holiday Bazaar, they're still waiting for details before they decide what type of participation their Friends will be having. And then they voted on the Friends board for 2022, or to start at the October meeting. The new chair will be Janice Cosentino, vice chair Meg Rank, treasurer Sarah Rambacher, membership Jennifer Pletcher, recording secretary TBD, corresponding secretary Kathy Christophic, and then members at large Judy Grandy and Barbara Floss. And I believe that was the, yes.
Can you send me those when you have a chance? So I can
Absolutely.
check
Yep.
the minutes? I've kind of
Yep.
lost. I heard the names, but I
Yes,
lost it.
Yeah, that's a lot. I will do that. Any other questions, comments? Okay.
The other friends related thing that it's not really friends, but I've been in touch with the friends because the Girl Scouts wants to do the holiday trees again. My Girl Scout troop is currently leading that. So they're planning to do that again. And we're coordinating with the friends and Sam and Diane to make sure that can happen when the time comes around the holiday time.
Okay,
No-
that's
no.
all I have.
All right. So are there building project updates?
No, nothing's happening.
Liar.
So yes. So it looks at this moment, the shelving is supposed to be delivered on October 18th. And they will start the installation of the shelving immediately thereafter. And I think the move will be starting roughly at the same time, and expected to take 2 weeks. Also on the building in general, the donor wall is up. We're waiting on the donor room signs to be delivered. I don't have a date on that yet. I've asked for an update. I haven't gotten one. There's the concrete floor in the downstairs lobby and in the upstairs lobby that they're going to put a VCT, which the vinyl flooring down, I believe next week was the plan. It's hopefully going in next Wednesday, and the goal is for that to be done before the shelving comes in, because they can't do both at the same time. While the movers are there, patrons will not be allowed in the library. So I don't have the exact schedule in front of me now, but so basically somewhere on the week of the 18th, the library will be closed to patrons. We could potentially still do curbside that week if we wanted to. And then the following week, the books will be on the move at a certain point. And then I don't think curbside is really an option at all, because it would be hard to find the books. Did I miss anything, Sam?
No. I'd like to revisit the idea of curbside. I think that's going to be really difficult while the movers are moving everything, and it's going to be crazy trying to find the books. We're going to have to put a pause on all the holds that are being delivered. So, I mean, maybe for the first couple of days, but I don't know that it's a sustainable thing for the whole 2 weeks, or even for the first week.
I think once you put a pause on the holds, nothing's going to come anyway.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? No one will have anything to pick up. So it's almost better to send out an email or something on the website that says your holds you're still in the right place as far as your hold. You're just going to be pushed out a week or so. But.
I'm trying to find the email with the exact dates of what was happening when. I don't know if you have it easily, Sam. It's hard to find in the long chains.
Yeah,
I think I have.
Oh, wait, here we go. So October 18th to 20th, they're starting to pack up and stage the books on the carts. So that's a week from Monday through Wednesday. And then the 20th and 21st, they're going to start moving shelving. The 21st to the 25th, they relocate the boxes packed by the staff and designated furnishings. The 26th and the 29th, the books are unpacked in the new building.
I think it's fine not to offer curbside during that time. I think people are pretty at least by word of mouth, fairly well aware of the people that are regulars at the library that it's going to be shut down for a couple of weeks, and everyone's just excited about getting into the new spot. I'm not concerned about people freaking out about that.
What about things like notaries or printing services and that stuff? I know that stuff will be moved, but would there be possibility for curbside for those kind of services?
Yeah, I think there are enough notaries on staff that we could do that. As far as printing goes, maybe we can set up a computer somewhere that's out of the way, maybe on town side where patrons can use a computer. I'd have to talk to Anthony and Joe about that. Maybe like a satellite library station with like computer capabilities or something. But yeah, there's enough staff notaries. But yeah, as far as curbside goes, after speaking with the movers, she said that it's not a good idea. They're going to be packing books. They don't really want the staff there interfering with them while they're packing books. You know, it becomes confusing and it's dangerous if a staff member hurts themselves. You know, there's a liability issue.
The other thing, while I'm thinking of it, Sam, someone needs to talk to the veterans agent and tell them that they can't use the library for those 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'll talk to him too.
I do think most patrons are going to just be excited, want them in the library and set up as quick as possible. So anything that will potentially cause chaos maybe isn't the best idea.
Yeah. I think the patrons will understand. They know that this has been coming.
Yeah.
It's only 2 weeks.
As long as we communicate it well. I mean,
it's a little short notice now, but
I know.
Everybody's been expecting it.
Also, I think that you guys were saying 3 weeks, so it's kind of a perk that now it's 2.
Right.
That's true.
So can I suggest a slight compromise and we like on Monday or Tuesday? So you're going to put out the thing that we're not going to take in any new whole. There's going to be no deliveries to the library, but things that have been delivered, you need to allow people a chance to come and pick up. So maybe like Monday and Tuesday, you tell people they can come and pick up any book that was already on hold, but that's all that's going to be available, right? And that they have to, you know, the doors will be locked. They'll have to call or buzz in or something, right? But someone can be there so that they can pick up books that have already arrived that are on hold, right? Because those are going to be moved differently, and you can kind of do that out of the way.
I think that's fair. We can do that.
That sounds reasonable to me. If we can make it happen.
Yeah.
And we should still be able to do the notaries and things if someone's there. So on the first week when are we going to have the staff doing things like packing up the storage room or things like that? Is that the plan? And I don't know what's left well, there's a bunch of storage rooms downstairs. I assume most of the stuff's in there's the book sorting closet. What do we want to do with those? And then the closet behind the book sorting closet, which I think mainly has junk in it that we probably don't want to move. But I don't know who's going through all of that, if it's the staff or if a friend needs to go through some of it, or, you know, what we're going to do with all of it. Is there a plan for that?
So back when we thought we were moving like a month ago, I had spoken to Anthony about getting a dumpster. And so he said we could do that with Chris Stoddard when it's time for the move. So he said that he would work with us to get something delivered, and then he wants to walk through the library and find out what we're taking, what we're not taking, and then what we can throw away and what they can recycle. I think they wanted to take some of the metal to recycle it or sell it. I'm not sure. So yeah, the staff can definitely be going through stuff, helping to throw out things, helping to move things, helping to, as far as the book sale room or the book closet, if you or Sarah or another friend want to come and take a look, that's fine. We might have to move it into that container out back for at least a little bit until we figure out what we're doing at the Friends book sale room.
Okay. Where's the furniture from the Friends book sale room coming from? There's nothing in there at the moment. Is that still
So there is something in there now. There's a table and
Oh.
it got delivered yesterday or the day before yesterday. And then the shelving is part of the shelving that's coming with all the other shelving. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you want to go through the list of things that aren't going to be there when we open
sure.
that you know of?
So some of the patron computer tables are not there. They might be delivered by the time we're moving or around the same time we're moving. So patron computer tables in the children's room were delivered. Patron computer tables in the teen room were delivered. And then there are some tables. They're not meant to be patron computer tables, but they can be temporary patron computer tables that we can use until the actual ones come. And then there are plenty of chairs, but not the chairs that are meant for the patrons. There are chairs that are meant for the meeting rooms. So, but not the actual table chairs. But so we can use those temporarily. We have pretty much all the office furniture installed. There's no children's room circ desk yet. There is one in the teen room, and there's a reference desk. We're waiting on the electrician to change the main floor circ desk because they didn't put enough electrical outlets. So I know Phil and Brian were working on that. I'm not sure when that's going to happen. There are enough outlets that we could have 2 computers at the circ desk, but there were meant to be 3. But yeah, other than that, there's no children's room circ desk, so we'd have to come up with some sort of solution for that. There's not a lot of seating furniture in the children's room yet. There's like comfy chairs all over the place on the main floor. There's comfy chairs for the teen room, but nothing for the children's room yet. The Storycraft room has tables. Yeah.
Local history, the main meeting room.
Local history, we're taking the table that's in the current local history room and putting that in there. And then the shelving is also coming from the old library. Not the shelving that's in the local history room, the shelving that's in the current teen room is going in there. Yeah. So really it's just patron computer tables that we can use makeshift. We have tables that can be used until the actual tables come in.
And the large meeting room is fully furnished now?
The large meeting room has all the chairs. The folding tables that are meant for that room, we would have to use as the temporary patron computer tables. But we do have folding, like the white folding tables that also came in. So we could use that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the patio furniture's
there's there's
one
a bench.
One bench.
There's one bench and
One bench and one table.
Yeah. It's all coming from India apparently. So it's taking a while.
All of the furniture or the patio furniture?
All the patio furniture. Yeah. A lot of it anyway is coming from there.
Has there been an update for the things like the computer tables and stuff, or we just don't have a date yet?
Yeah. Natalie, the architect that we've been working with for that, she said end of October. So it might be that while they're moving, it arrives.
Mm-hmm.
Or beginning of November. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So when do we want to advertise as our opening date, as our grand opening date and the ribbon cutting? If it's all
not Halloween weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. According to the schedule, that's when the moving's going to end. There's October 29th.
Yeah.
So November 1st would be that Monday.
We had planned a few days for you guys to have like a soft opening in the previous plan.
Right. That would be helpful.
And then we need to figure out when a ribbon cutting,
right,
which can be separate from the celebration too.
Right.
So I would say that the library is open for business either on that Monday or the Tuesday, right? If you want to give the staff the Monday to kind of get used to the building and figure out where everything is, I'd be okay with that, I guess. And then do a full opening on Tuesday, and then we could have like a soft opening where we're open in the new building, but then do more like the ribbon cutting and a grand opening ceremony towards Friday or Saturday.
The 5th, 6th.
5th or 6th.
Can I ask a
But-
question that goes back about 15 minutes?
No.
It was back in the circulation conversation. And I just didn't get to like stick it in there. We were talking about whether or not about the process for picking up books and things like that and held books. Is the process going to change at all during those 2 weeks for returning books?
Yeah, we're going to tell patrons not to return books.
Right? And I'm just wondering,
Can we like seal the book
Yeah.
up?
like I feel like that should be something that that the public should know as well, because I return books all the time, every day.
Right. Yeah, we'll definitely let patrons know that.
Okay.
We'll have to work something out with MVLC to figure out how
To
that's gonna
extend
work.
the time, yeah. I
Yeah.
think literally you're right, like putting something over the book.
I think you're gonna
drop.
have to like duct tape it shut with like
Yeah.
the book drop.
We can fast forward again now.
It was a good question. We're talking about giving books away, but not about what we're going to do when they come back. All right. So if we're aiming for ribbon cutting, do we want to do an evening ribbon cutting or during, because before we said during the day on a Friday.
And at this point, it's going to be dark in the evening, so that doesn't sound ideal.
Also, I think there's tons of kids who would be really excited to see it.
Yeah, we could do a mid-afternoon one.
It will be dark at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at the latest.
Right.
I mean, it's after daylight savings time, right?
It's really messing with their party
Or
plans.
really, well,
I think it's that weekend. It usually is the first weekend in November.
That's right. It's the 7th.
daylight
Yeah.
saving time. Yeah, so the 5th is before.
Still gonna feel dark. So the other, before we talk ribbon cutting, the other crew we should probably touch base with is Anthony.
Yeah.
So maybe we should propose that Thursday, Friday, Saturday for ribbon cutting. Well, Thursday or Friday. And then we can do maybe the evening thing on Friday and the celebration on Saturday like we had intended earlier. Although we should
Well,
look at those plans again.
Our next meeting is that Thursday, so we can be in the meeting room for our next meeting.
That would be fun. We gotta make sure those meeting rooms work.
That we have tables to sit at.
Details.
Everybody bring their own chair.
Wait, that would mean we could have an in-person meeting. We have a building.
Amazing.
Yay. All right, so let's talk to Anthony about ribbon cutting. And let's aim for that weekend. Sam, should we call another meeting for the opening?
Yeah, we can plan one for maybe next week, early next
That'd be
week.
great.
When the dates are set, we need to start working through the list. So like Commodore will want an executive there, and we should invite like Eldridge and Osiero and things. So we should
MBLC.
probably, an MBLC. So I don't know if someone has the list of everyone we need to invite, but we should figure that out, and we should work really hard to make sure that that's really the date. So
That is the kicker, right?
fool me once, fool me twice, and this was fool me the third time. So Yeah.
Well, how firm are those moving, those shelves? Like that is the
shelving manufacturer told us on Tuesday that the dates were firm. So,
is that
Um,
a more firm response than the last one you got?
well, it was direct from the manufacturer. So
Okay.
I would like to talk to them again next week on like Monday and make sure that they're really firm. So,
Okay. So when would you like me to start advertising this? Because we're going to have to let patrons know and the staff know. The staff is driving me nuts. They want to tell people.
They want in. We have
Well, I
1
know they
week
want to tell people.
before we shut down here.
Right. So do I wait until Wednesday to tell them we're closing Monday?
So I will talk to Brian tomorrow and see if we can, or at least he can get a yes that the shelving will be coming for the 18th from the shelving guy on Monday, and then we make the announcement Tuesday.
Okay.
Does that? I mean, we can kind of put out the, I don't think we need to keep it like quiet, and we can tell people now, but I wouldn't like post it on Facebook if people are asking, right? Tell them we think we're going to be closed these 2 weeks and reopen again on the 1st or the 2nd, whichever day. We should vote on that one tonight, which date we're opening, assuming everything goes well, right? But I wouldn't post it on Facebook and start putting out notices until, like, let's say Tuesday of next week. Does that seem right to everyone else, or?
The holiday.
Monday's a holiday.
Yeah, Monday's a holiday.
Yeah, I think if by Wednesday at the latest, we're telling people we're closing the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I also have to talk to MVLC. I have to talk to the bin delivery company and tell them.
Start working as if it's the 18th. If we have to backtrack, we will.
Okay.
So if we're closed the 18th to the 29th for moving.
Yeah.
We'll give you Monday, the 1st to settle.
Yeah.
If you need a hand that day, you need to talk to people.
Okay.
So what day do we want to reopen for soft?
I think that Tuesday's fine. The
Tuesday.
2nd.
Okay, so let's aim for that Friday, Saturday celebration like we originally planned.
Yep.
Do we want to do the ribbon cutting on those days? Or the Friday?
That makes sense.
So we're going to aim for the 5th for ribbon cutting.
Yeah. At what time? Is that in the afternoon?
It's a good question. Do we want to, what time do people want?
I think at least after the schools get out, like mid to late afternoon.
We do like a 4 before dark.
Yeah.
I would say more like, what time does Shaker Lane get out?
3:15. 4:15. Weird sounds.
It is a weird buzz that I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Shaker Lane's out at 3:15. I feel like 4 might be the
At 4 is just, it's going to be getting dark. It's just going to be hard
dark.
if we get, I was hoping for something closer to 2:30 or 3, but I don't know. Yeah. Well, first, this is the ribbon
it's gonna
cutting, so
snow.
it's not,
You know that?
and it's not necessarily directed towards the kids.
Right.
If we're going to do another event on Saturday, more directed towards the kids, I think that's okay. I think the kids would be more bored at the ribbon cutting when everyone's giving their speeches. So I'd be fine with moving the ribbon cutting up earlier to, I don't care if it's like 10 or 2, right? And then do more of an all day thing for the kids on Saturday.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but when we had originally talked about this 2-day thing, we were planning a ribbon cutting at like 10. There was going to be a coffee hour where we were going to invite the seniors in and just after lunch, and then having some sort of evening thing at.
Yeah. Let's just do the ribbon cutting in the morning.
The only thing I have just like about that is that like Chris works 8 to 4.
Yeah.
And Mira's working because she's teaching too, and technically I'm working too, though I could pop out. So it's just like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't
That's
know.
a good point.
I'm not trying to speak for you guys either. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people who couldn't make it at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning.
Unfortunately, I'm out that weekend anyway, so for me, it doesn't matter, unfortunately, but I'm away that weekend.
I work from home on Fridays. It's the only day that I'm home. So I can absolutely pop out. So don't make it different for me, but I appreciate that, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Much like mini golf, I will end up taking the day off. So. And Wendy will be teaching, so she's the only, she won't be able to go. So Sam, maybe we could, I don't care when the time is, but I do think we need to reach out to Anthony before we like solidify a ribbon cutting time. And we could still do a coffee hour earlier in the day. Like if we flip flop those times that we had originally planned for like a senior coffee hour or whatever, we could do that too. And then we had planned, I believe, like a 5 to 8 or 5 to 9 evening thing. And then the next day being activities and stuff. So we'll get the committee together again to flush that back out and see who's around to do those things.
And just a heads up on the 2nd, that is a professional day, so there's no school that day for kids. So on your soft opening day, you might be flooded with children who want to see the library. So just be prepared for that.
Okay.
Maybe we don't broadcast that.
I know what I'm doing with my kids on that day.
We're going to make them unpack the storage unit. Child labor works, right? Just kidding. It's like mini golf. They get volunteer hours. All right. Anything else on that opening? Moving.
Do we need to vote on any of that, or are we good with what we
Good
just
question.
decided?
Sam, do you need us to vote on those dates?
I don't think so.
Do we need to vote to close the library on those other dates, or it's just kind of a? I mean, we voted to
It couldn't
close,
hurt to vote.
we voted to close the library normally, but I don't know.
Right.
So,
I will entertain a vote to close the library on those dates.
okay. So I'll make a motion to close the library for a move from October 17th to October 31st. Or November 1st, sorry.
Second.
Reopening on the 2nd.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded.
By Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Yeah.
All right, Kimberly.
Yeah.
Mira.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Okay. So Sam will pull the crew back together for planning. Okay. Great. And then
The one other thing on the library in general is we're still on budget. So we'll have a better idea on the budget here in probably the next couple of weeks, but we haven't overspent our budget. So
yay.
there's still expenses coming in because of doing the floor and things like that, but it shouldn't put us over the budget. We're still should be well within.
Awesome. Okay, so the only other things on my list, I don't know if they need updates or not, is the solar panels. Did we have an update?
So so the solar panels will be going out to bid. I'm not sure if it's next week or the following week. They were asking for a little bit more information from the town before they put them out to bid. Once they are out to bid, the bid is usually open for 3 weeks. And then PMBC and the OPM will be selecting a contractor to do the work. Once the contract is awarded, we can apply for the LEED grant from MBLC. And we're hoping that the solar panels will put us to the LEED silver level, which will give us another 0.5% of our grant amount back.
Awesome.
We do not know when the solar panels will go on the building. They might not go on until spring based on when the bid is awarded and, depending on the weather and availability of materials. But I will tell you that they will be on the building by June 30th because all the work has to be completed by then for the state earmark. The town does have the first half of the earmark in hand now. So we have received some of the money. So the other half is on project completion, I believe. So.
Okay. Great. So that can get moving. And then any updates on those tree removals that needed to happen?
No, I'm going to actually send mail to Amy Green and ask more on that. I think the highway department was hiring a contractor with a crane for some other work, and they were going to try and put some of that on the project, but I don't know what the end result is at this point. So I will follow up with Amy.
Okay.
We're also waiting for, so there will be two car chargers in front of the library, the new building, and we're waiting so Littleton Electric applied for a grant to get more car chargers, and we're waiting for that grant to be awarded. So everything's wired, we just don't have the charger in place.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So I think that was all of my building questions. Does anyone else have any you want to add? All right. So moving on, trustee updates. Kim, do you want to start?
I don't have a lot to share. I've been doing normal, checking out a gajillion books and returning a gajillion books. I did go in to say goodbye to Andy on her last day, and that was, I was really happy to see her, but I also like nearly started crying. It's been I was just trying to think about how many years it's been that a Curran has been working at the library. Does anyone know? Is it like 50? I mean, it's got to be like a lot of years. And so anyway,
we should ask our historian that question.
So it was really nice. I'm really going to miss seeing her around the library a lot. I did see her on her bicycle the next day, so I know she's still around.
All right, Chris, do you want to go?
Sure. I don't really have anything to update. I've been straight out with work and a kid being off to college, and I've been talking to her more and dealing with more since she's been gone than I did when she was here over the summer. It's like every single day she needs some help with some paperwork or form or something. So I feel like I've been busy, but not much updates with my library work. So signing credit card statements for Susan.
Thank you for doing that. Okay, Mira, do you want to go?
Sure. Again, same thing. I saw Andy on her last day, and it was nice to see her one more time, but it won't be the same without her. But congratulations to Jenna. That's exciting as well. And that is really it. We've been doing a lot of ebook, e-audiobook, not as many trips to the library lately. So hopefully we will I think once the new library opens, that will be a draw to get back and checking out physical books again.
Okay, Mark, you're up.
It's been a lot of work on the new library project lately, trying to keep all, about 2 weeks ago, I sent mail to Brian Fors, our OPM, with like 15 items that I was trying to keep track of in my head of the different things that we were trying to keep straight, and I'm pretty sure that I missed some. So there's been a lot going on that. I miss Andy in the library, and I want to know when the YouTube of the Reference Rabbit's going to be available. I've heard about it, but I haven't heard the song, so I'm very interested in this, because I know the Farachis are quite capable of creating these interesting songs. So. And we had a discussion about staffing issues, or not for the new library, not issues per se, but staffing requirements for the new library that we started working on. So that's it, I hope.
I don't think that's it, Mark. There's more in your brain that you've been doing. That was like C-level summary work right there. Just kidding. I also got to see Andy on her last day, which was lovely. And I'm also very excited for Jenna to move up into the head of circ position. So things are changing and will look a little different, but I know Andy will still be around. Maybe we can make her a friend. Convince her to do that. Let's see. I have to say the librarians have really been nailing the reader advisory for my family, whether or not they themselves walk into the library themselves. So I'm very appreciative of all of the help picking up books, especially trying to push ahead a reluctant reader right now who doesn't want to move into chapter books. So that's been working well. And then I will be continuing to work with Sam and Mark and on the whole staffing roles, needs, we have to replace Andy. Jenna replaced Andy, but now we need a YA librarian and some other staffing things looking forward. So we will keep working on that. And I think that was all of my updates, other than every time I talk to Mark, my head spins by the things on his list. So thank you and Sam for continuing to try to whittle those lists down. And Sam, if you need help opening the building at odd hours, please ask for a hand, okay?
Okay.
Katrina's dying to try out her key. That's what she
I
said.
haven't tried my key yet.
We got the fobs today, so I'll be sending you guys fobs soon, or putting them
Don't
in your
lose them.
lockers. Yeah.
All right, well, now I'm going to need a tutorial.
Okay.
No, I'll have to. No, I tried my key. One door, internal. Didn't count. I can't wait to go see the donor wall now that it's up. I saw the individual
It's really
blocks,
nice.
but I can't wait to use my key to walk in to see it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
We should, after this, we can send a picture around to the trustees list so that everyone can see what the donor wall looks like. So the ones that haven't seen it.
That'd be great.
So.
And looking forward to all those other signs coming in now that we've finalized them. All right, so directors report.
All right. So as was mentioned, Andy retired on October 1st, and we had a small party for it. It was very nice. Jenna is now taking over Andy's position as head of circ, and we are working with going before the select board to create a new young adult librarian position, which next select board meeting is the 18th, so that's going to be a busy day for me. And then at their last select board meeting, they approved our LSTA $14,489 grant from the MBLC to offer programming and technology for the vision and hearing impaired in Littleton. So once we open, we'll be working on that. Financially, we're doing well. We're about a quarter way of the way through the fiscal year, and we spent about a quarter of our budget, and the rest is just stats. Nothing too big. Any questions?
Anyone have a question for Sam? My question is, who's going to get all of those notaries now that Andy's gone?
It looks like Jean.
I don't know. Julie had a lot this year.
Oh yeah, Julie.
Sam, you're falling behind.
I am.
That's what happens when you're always in the new building, getting things ready.
Yeah.
All right. Any other director questions?
I have a couple. One question one thing that would be nice to see, Sam, I don't know how easy or hard this would be to put together, would be to see like a comparison of a few years of like the circ numbers and the door counts and things like that. I know they were thrown off by COVID, but if we don't see like a historical trend of a few years, it's going to be hard to say like compare year to year, since COVID's, when we weren't open last year and things went all haywire, but it's going to be hard to tell when we get back to parity if we're not seeing. So I don't know if those numbers are hard to put together, or what we can do to put them together.
Yeah, they're all in the errors, so I can just go back and look at.
So just like a graph or something that shows like our monthly numbers, and just keep, tracking for like 3 or 5 years or something.
That reminds me, I have to get a drawer counter for the new library. We don't have
Yes,
one.
you do.
So
I know I
Um,
pulled them for the building
Yeah.
advocacy at one point. So I know they
yeah, they
we
exist.
can come up with
Yeah.
with which ones matter and which ones we want to see month over month.
Yeah. Yeah. If we could break out the we can work on what those reports should look like. My other question is, has there been any talk on budget dates and when the narratives and things have to be put together for next year? I know it's usually in November or December. I just didn't know when it was.
They haven't put out anything yet. Usually it's November, December, but they haven't. Alicia hasn't said anything to us about it.
Okay. Can I recommend that you reach out to her soon, because the next couple of weeks are going to be a madhouse. So if it's beginning of November, it's going to be outrageously difficult to do. I think either I'd be happy to work with you on some of those things to figure out what we need in the new library. And I don't know if Kimberly or Katrina want to participate too. Kimberly, since she's treasurer type things, if she wants to be more involved, or Katrina's the chair, but I wasn't ignoring everyone else. I had a logic method to my madness on who I was selecting. But anyway, I'm worried that if the date's going to hit in the middle of chaos, so if there's anything we can do when maybe there's a little less chaos, which I'm not saying now is less chaos, but I don't think it's going to get better for a while. So
Okay.
If there's something we can be working on now, that would be a good idea.
I know I am happy to help. Probably we can. It looks like Kim's ready to pitch in too. So
Sure. Yeah.
it doesn't hurt for more of us to know what Mark's thinking and to learn that too. So
Mhm.
and learn from Sam on this too. So yes. Okay. Anything else, Mark?
I'm good.
He'll come up with something else. All right, let's move on to old business. So we have the meeting room policy. Where are we on that?
Helen didn't give a report.
Oh, Helen. I'm so sorry.
Hey, let me unmute myself. No, I don't have really much to report. We're just kind of, every day is like, do I make another order? Do I make sure that the order comes to this building and not the other building? So we're getting there. And I know a lot of people, we had 2 people voice their not wanting the superstition Frightful Fridays. But I must tell you, we've had 16 people attend the first one and about 7 or 8 on the next one. And I looked at the signups today, and I think we have another 16 for tomorrow night. So people are coming. It's, can't please all the people all the time though.
And there's an author talk coming up, I saw.
There's 2, there's Jeffrey Archer and Lisa Unger. And this is a great way for us to do some programming collaboratively, because Tewksbury has arranged with the bookseller. We will buy 3 copies of the book, and we can just use their, they're hiring Jeffrey Archer and profiling his newest book, and Lisa Unger with Ghosted Girl, I think it is, her newest book. And all we'd have to do on our part is purchase 3 autographed copies that we can use later as some type of prize. So it's a great deal for us.
That is nice.
That's it.
I think they're great. Keep them coming.
Yes. All right. Sorry, Helen. I didn't mean to skip you.
That's okay.
She likes to be skipped, I think.
All right. Let's move on to that meeting room policy. Where are we, Kimberly?
Well, the meeting room policy. So as you know, I've been kind of reviewing all of the policies that were on the website and off of the website. And then Mark's been going through them as well, and Sam. But we decided that the meeting room policy would probably be a really good one to have ready to go for when the library opened. So Sam actually took the lead on this one, really revamped it because it needed a full, like, what with having new meeting rooms, it needed a full revamp. I think he shared it. I don't know exactly what we want to do with it, but I think it's in really good shape. I guess if anyone has any questions about it, they could ask Sam.
So the one, am I wrong? The one in the packet I have dated as 2012, revised in 2012. Do I have the wrong packet?
I believe, Sam, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that this is because we have not voted to approve it.
Right.
So this is the updated version.
This is updated, just not an updated date.
Just, yeah, once we revise it, it'll be changed to today's date. Yeah.
So this is the updated version.
I do have one comment on it. And I think I told Sam this today, is you have a $50 cleaning fee to be assessed. I would make something that also says you reserve the right to tell the person that they can't use the room again if they have repeated offenses, that we have to, collect $50 every time they're in the room. Something that gives us some kind of protection to say, you're getting this as a privilege and please don't abuse it.
Holding that thought for a second, Sam, can you tell us what changed on this? Like, what did you change?
A long time ago. I don't remember what changed.
Okay.
I changed the names.
Yep. I saw the meeting room change name.
Yeah, all the meeting rooms names changed. I think most of it stayed pretty much the same.
Did the $50 cleaning fee?
No, it's always been $50.
And have we ever had an issue of multiple offenses?
Girl Scouts. Sorry.
Girl Scouts. I wish you had told me. I can bring that up at the next leader meeting. Let me just, I'll add that to my list.
Long time ago.
Oh, it's not a current one.
No.
Okay, good.
But I
There's
have heard
also
that from other meeting rooms.
I have an in for that one if you need communications.
There's also the link to the new form to sign up for a meeting room. I love that there's a new interface for that. It makes it so easy. Yes,
That's the Assabet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And remind me, there's like this, they can schedule 6 meetings. And so once one happens, can you schedule the next one? So if someone needs a perpetual meeting?
No,
or do they finish the 6 and then they
finish the 6? Yeah.
Okay. So they're in blocks.
Right. The computer program won't let them do that. The software aspect.
Okay. So it's not until the full 6 meetings have expired that they can do the next 6. Okay.
That's good. So they can't just keep on adding and adding and adding. It gives other people a chance to get in there. Yeah.
All right. Mira or Chris, do you have any questions? Will it be a fob instead of a key?
So what I found out about the fobs is that they have to program them. IT has to, with the name and the phone number, they have to, the way they set them up is with a name and a phone number. So I had to send IT everybody's name that's getting a fob, their phone numbers and email addresses. So they were very, make sure you get this back when the person leaves the trustees or they resign from the library or quit. So they're keeping a tight leash on it. So I think a key would probably be best for now.
Is that so they can track who's coming in and out?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if actually having a tracking system might, once we get in there and we know what we're doing, might be advantageous.
I can talk to IT about it, see if there's some sort of solution that we can come up with. So we can. I definitely got enough follow-ups.
Okay.
So I'll talk to.
Well,
IT.
you don't want to lose a fob.
Right.
True, but okay.
Well, the fobs are cheap, but it's reprogramming them later.
Yeah. Well, if it's not easy to reprogram them, then forget about it. But
I
Okay.
think saying a key is fine because it's
The way
the fob.
in.
Yeah. So on Helen's comment about the cleaning fee, and I'm wondering if we want to actually call out what the cleaning fee is, or just say a cleaning fee will be accessed and room privileges may be revoked.
I'm in the document now, so if we get some wording out, I can put it in.
So do we want to call out specifically what the cleaning fee is? Because if you
We
leave the room in
do.
a nasty
It
shape,
says- it
$50
states
is not very.
It says
I'm
it-
asking if you want to call out the amount
Oh.
or specifically or not, or just say
Yeah.
we're going to access a cleaning fee. Right.
So if cleaning is more than $50, then we can recoup that.
I'm fine with that.
I'm open to either. I'm just asking because I'm guessing that $50 number has probably been in there for. I don't know what you're going to get clean for $50 anymore,
Sure.
right? So I don't know if we want to just leave it at a cleaning fee and say and privileges may be revoked.
I'm fine with that.
The other comment I have is the last bullet says meetings in the Cooper room may be scheduled when the library is closed. And I think that should be this. Well, we need to figure out which rooms, if all three of the downstairs rooms are reservable after when the library is closed or not. Or is it just the Sturts room or the Sturts and the Murray room? Or there's 3 rooms down there. Are we allowing all of them to be reserved? One of them to be reserved?
What is we're like 3 nights that we're 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Currently.
Right.
It does say on the in the 5th bullet point that so you're saying if they begin after normal hours, because it does say for those 3 that if they begin during normal hours, they can go after the library is closed for all 3 of them.
But the last bullet says you can schedule meetings in the Cooper room when the library is closed under following conditions. So the question is, do those other rooms also apply?
Right.
So, Sam, which rooms do you think could be used without supervision from start to end of a meeting?
Definitely Sturts and Murray.
Yeah.
I'm a little hesitant about the local history room. Yeah, so maybe just make it Sturts and Murray are available after hours. Yeah.
And Cooper?
There's no Cooper.
There's no
current
Cooper.
library.
There is no Cooper room
and that's
anymore.
just in there by mistake. Okay, then that shouldn't
Yeah,
be in
that's
there
just
at
a
all.
mistake. Yeah.
Okay.
So we should, I definitely think the Sturts room, which is the big one. The Murray room is the one on the end, right? That's the red wall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um,
And
I'm fine with calling those out explicitly, and then if there's an exception that the genealogy group wanted to get in on a Sunday, then we'll work with them, right, to figure something out.
it does feel
for
like with
example.
the historical documents not necessarily being stored, locked, and all that, to open that room up to just anyone might not be the best idea. But
Right.
if friends wanted to use that room, or like, where we have pre-existing relationships, especially like genealogy, things like that, that's a different conversation. That could be.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the genealogy group's really a library program, so I think
Yeah.
that kind of falls. So
That does fall under the library program.
Yeah.
So the one we were talking about the meetings rooms, maybe, because I had the same question as Katrina about when you can do the next 6. Should we put that in there as well? That they can be reserved up to 6 reservations at a time. You can
Mhm.
schedule the next set of 6 after the first. You can I'm not really good at doing very well with the wording here, but after those 6 reservations have been completed, you can sign up for more.
You said the system will not allow them to.
Well, it
I know.
doesn't allow it
Just-
because I've set it up that way.
But just so that they know the kind of the why of that, they're not like, wait, something's wrong with the program. That they know it's not something wrong with the program. That's the way it's set up.
So I would say, personally, I say you should say they can sign up for 6, and then after like half of them are done, allow them to sign back up, right?
Or 3 more.
Yeah. So So I can see where you don't allow them to sign up for, 6 and then always keep 6. But if you let them, it would be very hard if you had like the Girl Scouts that want to meet once a month and they don't know that they can meet again, right, in November until after their October meeting is complete, right?
That has
So if you
happened.
pick 2 or 3, pick a cutoff number of 2 or 3, and then say, when there's 2 left, you can reschedule, or 3 left, or whatever it is.
So Acibet doesn't work that way. So I have to put in how many times a person can sign up. So if we do it that way, then a patron would have to come in and talk to the staff about scheduling the room. So it's either I set Acibet at 3 instead of 6, or the patron just has to know that they have to come in if they want to schedule on the 4th more meetings, they would have to come in and actually talk to the staff about doing it, because the staff have to override it.
So there is a way to staff override if.
Yeah, the staff can
question.
override it and set it themselves, but schedule it themselves. But it's not something that where, the patron goes through 3 and then they decide, oh, I want to add a 7. Yeah.
So let's just leave it. I would say that we leave the wording as is then, and then we'll deal with the patrons by, they'll learn how to work within or around the system, right?
I think Acibet tells them when they go to apply. I think it tells them how many. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it tells them. Yeah. Also, just that, what do we want to do about the patio? And we never included that in here.
Shouldn't it always be open? I don't think people should be able to rent the patio, at least not during library hours.
Well, they can get to the patio whether they. There's a way to get to the patio either way.
I don't think anyone should be restricted from the patio.
Yeah.
Like if there shouldn't be someone that says, you can't come in here, we're having a meeting right now on the patio.
Well, it could be library programming up there, which is.
Yeah. That feels different to me than an outside group.
So I think the question then is, could I reserve the meeting room and the patio for a Sunday, for example? Can you reserve the patio for off hours?
What are they doing on the patio? And do they need a bathroom?
Cocktail hour.
No. Well, that's that's not allowed.
No.
So
that's the thing, right? I don't know what liability there is on the patio either.
Let me rephrase that. If I reserve a meeting room, is the patio just considered free game to use, right? For off hours, right? During normal hours, even if you reserve the meeting, if I'll just pick on the Girl Scouts since everyone else is, but if the Girl Scouts reserved the meeting room, technically I can go in even as a non-Girl Scout person, because all the meetings are public and not for commercial use. So you can't exclude anyone from coming into the meetings, right? That's what our first bullet basically says, that anyone can come into any meeting being held in the library, right, in these meeting rooms. All right. But do we want to set any expectations on the use of the patio is the question on these. Are we expecting people to be able to come in and out the patio doors, for example, or just other doors? Or
so any patron that's in, so let's say someone's using the Sturts room on a Sunday, they can go out onto the patio. There's not going to be anyone there to stop them, but they won't be able. They can get back in with the key, because the key that works on the front door works on that door. So they can use the patio, whether we tell them they can or not. I mean, there's not going to be anyone there to stop them.
So we probably don't need to have a policy on it then.
So
maybe we should talk about what happens when they're there and they want to use the patio. Maybe we set some guidelines that,
if someone wants to hold an event on the patio, we could treat it like a meeting room.
Right.
Under those circumstances. But how, in terms of like casual use of the patio, people sit at the senior patio there at town hall randomly too. So I feel like it will be just used off hours.
Mhm.
Like any bench might be used, table might be used.
Mhm.
They just want to have
Yeah.
access to the building without a key.
Yeah, I'm good with all of that. I sort of feel like it shouldn't be in the same kind of set of policies about reserving. It should just be open.
Okay.
If people happen to go onto it after, during their meeting, after their meeting, whatever it is, that's fine. But there's just nothing about it that should feel exclusionary. I know there's a top bullet that says everybody's welcome everywhere, but if there's a meeting on there, people are going to feel less likely to go there. So even off hours, I feel like it should be a place where people should just feel free to be.
I guess if someone really wants to hold an event there, they can speak directly
Right.
to the staff
Yeah.
to plan that.
Maybe someone will get married there.
I can see Ambi out there already.
Yeah.
He's got a few years.
So I have a couple other issues, not issues, questions. One is, at one point, and I'm not sure when it was in the drafts and when it no longer applied, we used to say that library and friends of the library events got priority on the meeting rooms. Do we
It's in the
want
first
to
paragraph.
still? Oh, maybe I'm just,
It's still
that's
there.
my fault. Okay. What about town events? Right? If other departments, are we restricting them the same way we're restricting, can council on aging or park and rec or the selectmen reserve meeting rooms more than 6 at a time for more than 6 events? And if so, what is the limit that we want to have for them, right?
So there's never really been so usually it's been library first, friends, and then town departments get priority over the public. And we've kind of just let, like COA, if they want to use the room for more than 6 times, we've kind of just said okay. But I don't think there's ever been in writing anything that said, oh, COA has to, schedule the room for this many times only, and that's it. So if we want to put that in there, I guess now's the time to talk about that. But
So maybe it should say then that meeting rooms can be reserved by the public for up to 6 reservations at a time.
We are.
So then,
Okay, well, go ahead, Mark.
so then we can distinguish between,
Town.
the town versus library. I mean, because I'm pretty sure that we're going to reserve the room for the rest of the year for our meetings, right? So, which is more than 6, right? Presuming we're meeting in person, but and the friends are going to do the same type of thing. So, and then we can work on the town functions as they come up, for how far they're reserving, and we can do that through some kind of MOU with them, and more of an approval, whether it's Sam approving it or the trustees, working with the park and rec director or park and rec board on what they need, or the selectmen, or things like that.
Do you think that the new room on the block might have some record, especially the LCTV room? We'll have some popularity for a while here, at least for requests. I mean, we should get in the room and make sure that that LCTV stuff works and all that is there.
My other question is, do we want to set a limit on how far out in advance you can book the rooms? I mean, can I say I want the room for Christmas of 2024?
no, Aspet, I program Aspet, so it doesn't do that. Yeah.
So
How
what
far
is the
out can
limit?
you do it?
I think it's 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
mean, I could set it to 2024 if for like 3 years from
No,
now. Yeah.
No, I'm just asking if we wanted to publicly say that, you can't reserve the room for more than 6 months in advance or whatever the date is, right?
Well, 6 months makes sense if you're doing 6 meetings and assuming one a month.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess the question we kind of were circling around there was, is there somewhere in here where we want to include a reference to official town groups? Because we do have it for trustees and friends. Do we want to give kind of hey, Katrina's in there too now.
Sorry, I jumped in.
That's fine. I just thought to mention specifically that they have some priority as well, or play it by ear as it comes up.
So in the prior version, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe there was a town.
That's right.
So the library and the friends got priority, but the rest of the town departments did not. However, we made sure they had access to the rooms, to the Cooper room or whatever room.
Right.
So I feel like the same good faith. See where we go from here.
That's how, I guess the only thing that would concern me is if suddenly, for example, the select board decided they wanted to meet in the library instead of room 103, and then suddenly the room was taken every Monday forever.
I'm more concerned about the Thursday meetings, to be honest. I am concerned about Monday every week for certain things, but a number of boards meet on Thursday,
right?
And us included. And Thursday is also our big programming night. So the priority for the library there helps us keep that free for library programming.
So I wonder if we want to call out how far in advance. So do you want to say you can't book a program more than 6 months out, and or you can't book, I couldn't call you today and book a room for, next April or whatever, right? Or when your programs have to start versus when you book the room. Like if you're doing six reservations, maybe you can book one starting in November going through May, but you can't necessarily say I want an event in May booked already, because you're really not going to give the trustees and the friends and the library programs priority then, because we're not necessarily scheduling that far out, right? If that makes sense. Do you want to say that your event has to, you can't book a room now for an event long in the future, right?
No, I mean, but
maybe you allow
okay.
the recurring things to happen, but not.
I think that gets really complicated, Mark. I think that if you,
no, I'm not saying it doesn't.
I'm just even from just the sign up form perspective, I don't even know if that's possible to say you can't book something. You have to book something within the next month if you want to book something within the next 6 months. That sounds.
No. What I'm saying is, I can't reserve the library for next Halloween now. Right.
Right. But the 6 months, but within 6 months, are you okay with it? Like you were saying about the 6 months thing, like
if you have what I was saying is you have a recurring meeting, you're going to say that the meeting recurs every month and we're allowing you to have 6 reservations, then it's kind of hard to tell them they can't have one in 6 months out. Right. So either you set the limit to like 3 and you can only book rooms for the next 3 months or something like that. Right. I'm just questioning how long in advance you want to allow people to book things, right? Because you're not going to give yourself priority.
Do you think, so what do you think the right number of months is? Do you think 6 is too much? Because like currently it's at 6.
I'm not sure. That's what I'm asking. I don't know that I have the right answer. I'm just,
Well, we haven't changed anything. It's worked like this for like years. So I kind of am thinking they're going to get their reservation declined. And unless they call us to find out why, and it only happens very few times, they figure it out pretty quick. And we really haven't gone down this rat hole, right?
Yeah,
yes. But you also haven't had a lot of the town departments coming and wanting all your rooms either.
We have the fancy new building and people are going to prefer to use that versus the Cooper room.
Like they did with the police department room. when
Like
that
they
was
did
like
with the fire department, like they
the
did
fire
with the
department. Yeah.
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 I agree I agree there's going to be some level of sanity here because but if you all of a sudden open it up to the public and say that they can make their reservations, and between the public and the town groups, I would be surprised if the rooms aren't booked very quickly, and you're not going to be able to do any programming because the rooms are going to be full because you have the shiny new building that they can get in after hours.
Can
right?
we
So
book our library programs now and fill them later, open them up later?
You could make placeholders.
Can we?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I
would
I'm looking for.
placehold it for us, right, Sam? And then
Yeah.
what we don't use,
Can we just put something that says the library always has priority on Thursdays and Fridays?
you can just block out Thursdays
Yeah.
and Fridays and say that there's something there and then people can't book it. Right. And then if you decide, a month in advance that it's available, you can open it up. Right. So you could do something like that. But my concern is if you don't do something like that, you might find that. So you only have priority at the time you make the reservation. Are you going to? I don't think we've ever done this where a group like picking on the Girl Scouts again, that they were going to have a meeting on Thursday and says, no, you can't meet on Thursday because we're going to hold a library program, right? We've occasionally bumped other library programs to other rooms, but we've never bumped the public from our rooms that I'm aware of.
no, we have.
Right.
We have
We've
bumped them.
moved to them, yeah.
Yeah, we have.
We've moved them from rooms, or we've said that they can't meet.
I'd say that I only remember one time, and I think it was the Yarn Overs, and they were library sponsored also, but they were very accommodating. They just didn't meet. Most times we'll call the people and say, how many people are in your group? And we'll try to move them in different spaces. There have been times where they've had to just use a large table downstairs in the stacks because we didn't have, because library programs did take precedence.
So
I don't know if we're going to like being popular.
I know.
You're a community space. You have to get used to it.
So
I'd say my way in is it's better to start off a little bit stricter and then lighten up than the other way. So it'd be easier to say we're gonna take precedence, we're gonna block the rooms for the library and then ease up, as opposed to let it be a free for all and then realize, oh, too many people have reserved spaces. I don't know. That's kind of my, until we know what the popularity is going to be like.
I do think you can book Thursday nights between our trustee meetings, and knowing that that's a popular, you can block that off, I should say, program night, then we know those go well. Correct? And you said Friday nights do as well?
yeah. So I'm looking at Aspet right now. I'm trying to share it, but it won't let me. I can set Thursdays and Fridays. I can set a start time when it's available and an end time when it's available. So maybe I just put like the end time at 4 when we close or something like that.
yeah, I think that's a reasonable thing to
Yeah.
do. And
And this will keep being adjusted, but you guys need to get in there.
or can you just book it, Sam?
Yeah, can you just book us?
Just book that the library has it reserved in those times, and then you don't have to set special things, and then we can cancel the events and allow them, if you know in November that you're not going to use it on certain days on Thursdays, you can cancel those events, right?
Yeah.
Rather than changing the start and end times.
Are friends on Thursdays also?
No,
Wednesdays.
So those also?
But we know the friends dates, correct? And we know our meeting dates.
Right.
Those can easily, I would do that now for you, but I can't because the room doesn't appear.
Right.
Right.
yet, soon. But you can override it.
Mhm.
Or somebody on the staff could take the dates for the friends meetings and the trustees meetings and just book them.
Yep.
And then you can look at the calendar and say, we want to do a program here.
Or you say, we're going to, we're doing programming every Thursday. So we're going to book every Thursday. And then the Thursdays we don't have programming, you can decide, well, we're not going to hold them this month on these dates, and we'll just cancel those. And then people could then go back and book them. So it's a little more work on your end to go through and unbook the things that you had booked, but it's not. But then they're basically reserved, and yeah. And then if they're not in use, then we can make them available.
Yep.
So back to what about town groups?
Do we need to call them out separately?
I don't think so, but I think there's that, I hope no one takes too much advantage of it.
I guess that's where we have to step in and have conversations with other town groups if it starts to impede on library programming and community use.
Right.
The chair probably has to get mean.
Okay, so maybe we should just leave that and see how it starts, see how it goes with those groups.
So
Sam,
I think
Sam, would they normally go to you or the staff to book something?
Yeah, usually they contact me or they contact Susan.
Okay. I mean, they already have to go through you guys, so.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be, it doesn't have to be part of this policy, but we could go back to the different groups and talk to them about the meeting room use in general and work out not necessarily an MOU, but kind of more of an agreement on what they're expecting and what we're willing to, how the rooms are going to operate, and so that no group, basically takes over the library or the library is still available to the public and the town's not reserving it all the time, right? So
right, because I do want the Girl Scouts to be able to have their room,
Yes, but I also want Park and Rec to be able to use the room and the Council on Aging to be able to use the room too. I mean, but you don't want you want everyone to share and share alike.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
It is an entire community space, so we need to balance it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I just added to the policy just where it says meeting rooms can be reserved up to 6 reservations at a time. I said up to 6 months out, just to clarify that. And then we made the changes to the meeting rooms at the bottom to make it Sturt's meeting room or the Murray conference room.
Mm-hmm.
Are we prepared to vote on this tonight? To vote it and to approve it, or do you want to see the latest draft?
I'm fine voting it with those changes.
Okay.
Mira and Chris, I can see the document because I received it earlier. Can you see the document?
I'll share it now.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yep.
It has gone through some changes.
I was looking at it, but it wasn't the live version, so I wasn't seeing
Yeah,
the
I'm going
live.
to share. I'm going to send it to you right now, the live version.
You want to just share a screen? Is that even possible?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Oh no, it's disabled. Can the host?
Sam's not letting you. Sam, would you mind giving Kimberly permission? No Zoom bombing.
All right. I
All
think
right, you're the host.
Okay. Yep. Got it. Here. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Make it a little bigger. There you go. Thank you.
Tell me when to scroll. Let's see.
You can scroll.
I do appreciate that must ensure town bylaws are followed. No cocktails on the patio.
Make sure you remember to update the date at the top.
Yeah, I was gonna do that as soon as we like approve it.
Does the
And we're-
local history room get food and drinks?
No.
Is there a maximum hour that a meeting is allowed to continue until?
You mean the time of night or how many hours?
Yeah, so we have like, is it just considered after hours? Like those that are ongoing at the time the library closes, is there ever they need to be out by time?
No.
Okay, and that's
well-
the same for currently.
Well, it's programmed as an SBET. I think it ends at around 10 or 11.
It
Is what I
says
said.
it says 3 hours.
Yeah. So
It does say
Yeah.
there is a limit. Okay.
yeah, whether or not they actually leave that time, no one's there to tell them.
No accidental overnights. Okay.
And we're okay with the historical room being unattended if the meeting has started during normal hours? If that's open past closing?
No, they would have to leave by the time we close.
Okay, so I should take that part out.
Let's take that one out. Again, that's that, depending on the group, we might be able to change it, but
So put yeah. So up the line above has the quiet study rooms and
in the Houghton room.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to say the
Okay.
Houghton room there too.
Typing, good pressure. People are watching.
We have no public. It's fine.
But who knows who's going to watch later?
Right.
So Sam, I'm pretty sure this is true, but just to double check, if a meeting started in one of the rooms and went after hours, they don't need a key to lock up. The doors are just going to lock when they leave.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Change the address.
I was just about, that's where my cursor was. I was just about to change that. What is it now?
35. 35.
Okay.
We have an address.
Phone number's the same.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Any other comments? Questions, concerns? Thank you for writing this, Kimberly.
Sam for this one, but yeah.
Sam, thank you for writing this.
So I think we need to, do we need to vote on it?
Yes,
Policy. So yeah.
you can probably stop sharing if you want.
Okay. I just changed the date.
Perfect.
Official.
Assuming that we vote on it, who's making the motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the policy as written and presented.
I second.
All right, Kimberly,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Mira,
Yes.
and Chris.
Yes.
All right. And I'm
Our
a
first
yes.
policy updated. So
We have
exciting.
our first policy updated. Let's talk about the next one. We should probably do the staffing policy. So next.
Okay.
So Sam, when we talk tomorrow about staffing needs, this might fit right into revising that at our next meeting. So let's put that one on the agenda.
Sure.
Sound good? Is there any other policies that we should prioritize before the library or at the beginning when it's open?
So this is also for a future meeting. We plan to have a library of things, so maybe we should create a library of things policy.
It's a great idea.
We actually don't have I think the staffing policy is part of the like general policies.
No,
So if you're
no,
no?
I think I thought staffing policies, things, what I think we're talking about is there's a policy somewhere that says if we have fewer than X number of staff in the building, we're closing and that type of thing. There's
If
that
that's
somewhere.
If it exists, I don't have it. If there's a,
Okay.
it might,
It's
like,
in
if
the,
that
It
might
might be the general.
yeah,
that's
it's in
what
the
I'm thinking, like,
general, the
within
bigger
the
one.
general policy. So if you're looking
Yeah.
for it, I think that's where it is.
Yeah, it's in the
Okay.
general one.
Okay, so we
Um,
should pull out at least the sections we need to revise.
Yeah.
So I think having a library of things policy is a good thing. One question I have on that is where do we go? Where does that policy stop and things like the gift policies and donations start, right? Are you having a different policy for people giving you things for the library of things than the other policies for the accepting gifts? Or is which policy does that type of stuff fall in under? I want to donate a machete to the library. Does it go under the library of things policy or the gift acceptance policy?
Yes.
Well, isn't one of them gifts and the other one is how to manage the checkouts and stuff like that? One is circulation and one is accepting.
Why? That's what I'm asking is the library of things policy all encompassing on both accepting things and send and the circulation, or is it the circulation and the other policies covering acceptance?
So we cannot be the first library to be coming up with this concept. So one must be some ideas of other library of things policies must be out there somewhere for us to research.
They are.
Okay.
And I will look them up and share them with everyone.
Sam, is that something one of us can help you with? Because I know you're overwhelmed right now. And I don't see a library of things opening in the next month. So
No. Well, we did get all those hotspots from the state that we want to start sharing and that they want us to start sharing. So
don't we have
Kimberly, are you okay with you and
hotspot
I
thing
looking
then?
at this?
Yeah. Mhm.
So Kimberly and I will take the lead on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other policy that probably needs to be updated in short order is there's a policy on like the donation boxes. There's the Loaves and Fishes box and the eyeglass box and all of those, the TerraCycle boxes.
The collection.
That
Okay.
Yeah, that policy is going to have to be updated on what we're doing with them, how long they can stay, and when we move and don't move people's boxes there, or where we move them to, that type of thing needs to be resolved.
So
that one.
we have that, like, that's the nonprofit collection box policy in the spreadsheet.
Could be.
It's here. So I have reviewed that one, Mark, if you want to take a look at that.
Okay, I'll take a look at it, and then it's a fairly short policy, so.
Yep.
The only thing that we probably don't know before our next meeting is exactly where we're going to put the boxes. But I have a couple ideas where they could go in the new library, but
Okay.
we can work on, Kimberly and I'll look at that one for the next one too. It's short and easy to review, so.
I
So
think we also
definitely go ahead, Kimberly.
I was going to say, just in terms of the library of things too, I think like we do have somewhere in the policies are how you accept gifts from people, how long you hold on to them, if you hold on to them, that you have the discretion as the library to get rid of it if you're not going to use it. Like, all of those things are documented. So I think what we're missing, I mean, we can always update those, but I think what we're missing is what are our policies on how are they included in circulation. There's a lot in here.
So Kimberly and I'll do it.
That
Is there
sounds
anything
great.
else you think you need in short order, Sam? I don't even remember what all the policies are anymore.
No.
So if there's anything else you think you need for November, let Kimberly and I know, and we'll try and work on it, and then we can start the other ones for December, I guess, or later. We can start prioritizing after that. We could
Okay.
probably also work on coming up with a prioritized list for our next meeting, just so people know when they would be coming.
That would be
I like to
great.
give Kimberly more work.
I'm looking. So I'm writing nonprofit collection box, library of things, circulation, and or library of things and staffing. Those are the three we're going to try and work on before November. Okay.
I think Sam and Katrina are doing the staffing one, and you and I are doing the other one.
Great. Okay.
Other ones.
We can do it, Sam.
It's on my to-do list.
All right. any other policy related questions or comments? Okay, we're on to new business. Does anyone have new business to share?
Yeah, I forgot to put this on here, but can we close at 4 p.m. on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving? That's November 24th.
Yes.
We've always done that in the past. And
The
then
town usually do. I mean, the schools are closed,
Yeah.
so like
Everyone's gone.
you don't know, but that's a traditional thing.
yeah, normally the library closes at 4 that day.
Okay.
And also, again, I don't know what the town's going to do, but Christmas is on a Saturday, so we would be closed on Saturday. Can we close early on the Friday before? But sometimes the town closes, sometimes they close at 12. So I don't know what we want to do. Normally that would be a 4 p.m. day, so we can close at 1 or 2 on that Friday. The 24th, Christmas Eve.
Anyone have comments?
Fine with me.
So I'm fine with closing at 1 or 2 on those days, but we should check with Anthony and what the town's planning on doing to see. I mean, there's no point in voting to close at 1 if he's going to say that they're closing the whole office on that day anyway, right? So let's check and see if they have any plans and tell them, you know, the trustees are voting to close early, right? Are you planning on being open?
I've done that in the past and I don't really get a response until that Friday when guess what? The town's closed. So I kind of feel like we're on our own with this one. Unless because the library has to know whether or not we're going to be open or closed because we have to let patrons know. We can't just, the town just closes and then they just close. But if we just close, then it's patrons are disappointed or patrons just show up and, you know, so it's easier if we just have a set day.
Actually, I can tell you already, the town's not going to be open on that Friday, right?
Was that their official day off?
Well, their holiday will be on the Friday.
They'll
Oh,
take the
right.
holiday on the Friday, and the same thing for
Exactly.
New Year's. The
Yep.
next week.
Right. So the library would close on Saturday normally because we're open on Saturday. The bylaw says if the department's open on a Saturday, that's the day they close.
Okay.
Ah,
So the town's going to be closed that Friday because they're not open on Saturday. So what do we want to do on that Friday?
So I'm fine with closing early. I question whether it should be 1 or 2 o'clock. That would be my, I mean, because if you're open 10 to 1, it doesn't, it's not much of a shift for someone to come into work, right? For 3 hours. Are you going to get many volunteers to come in for 3 hours versus 4 hours? It doesn't make that much, you know, does it make that much of a difference? Or what do you think your staff would prefer?
They prefer to close.
I was gonna say they're gonna want it closed.
They prefer to close on Friday.
So the problem with closing is I don't know we can close and pay them.
That is my question, actually.
So yeah, I don't think so.
So we will be able to pay people on Christmas and New Year's Day because normally would be open. How
Because
does
it's a
that-
holiday.
Right.
It's a holiday. Anyone that's benefited will get it off as a holiday. Or
Right.
get the equivalent of the hours as a holiday. But if we close on the day that's not a holiday, they're not going to get paid. And the
Right.
part-timers are going to lose.
Right. We've allowed people who've wanted to work their hours so they don't lose money, probably the Thursday or the Friday at any time. So
Right.
that way they've covered their hours, so they'll still get paid. They necessarily, if they can tack it on to Thursday, won't have to, you know what I'm saying? Lose the hours from 1 to 4 on Friday. They could tack it on to another day. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, and thinking of the Friday schedule, I think there's only 2 people that would that we would have to move. Everybody else is benefited and can take a vacation that day or whatever, a personal day. There would be 2 people that we'd have to tack on earlier in the week or something if they want it.
Anyone?
So historically, we haven't closed for Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. Also I mean, it's not often it's on a Saturday either,
Right.
so.
Right. That's
So
why.
I feel like closing one of those for a full day is, given that those 2 holidays fall on a Saturday. If we were to close one full day, the other one we would want people working.
So since the library closes at 4 o'clock on a Friday for New Year's Eve, I don't necessarily see any reason to close early. I mean, New Year's Eve, things don't usually happen at 1 o'clock in the afternoon anyway. So I don't know there's any point in closing early on New Year's Eve, right? If we wanted to close for the Christmas Eve or close, I think we should at least close early on Christmas Eve, right? And I'm fine with 1 or 2 o'clock, whatever people want. If we want to close the whole day, I'm a bit of a Scrooge, but I could live with it.
I think
Mr.
if we're
Mayor,
gonna
what are you
do,
thinking?
I think 1 o'clock. I think that,
So Kimberly says 1. Mira or Chris, do you have an opinion?
Kimberly, you say 1 for Christmas Eve or?
She froze on mine.
Christmas Eve.
Okay. I mean, I would be fine with anything. I mean, closing entirely on Christmas Eve would be okay with me, and then maybe open for I don't know. Again, I don't know what the typical traffic is on New Year's Eve, but if we're closed on Christmas Eve and open for the full time on New Year's Eve, that's one option. But it's sort of whatever would work for, I mean, at the staff, if we're going to close one of those days, I assume that Christmas Eve would be the one to do, because that's the day that staff, I assume, would want off more so. But how do they feel about New Year's Eve? Do you have any sense of that?
I don't think they care about New Year's Eve. Honestly, most of the staff, they're gonna
take the
take off
day.
on Christmas Eve, and then I'm gonna have to find someone to cover Christmas Eve. So it'd be easier to just close.
So I'm sorry. Are we talking about closing completely or closing early on Christmas Eve? I thought we were talking about closing early, but we're talking about closing completely.
Just pass.
So closing all day Christmas Eve and just staying open regular hours on New Year's Eve.
And then and closing at 4 on Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving.
Just closing the future.
Not sure who's making sounds. Is it me?
Could be me.
Better.
Is there a motion?
Do we do all of them together or do them separately?
I think we could do the well, I'll do the Thanksgiving one because it's the easy one. Move for the Mira, I think it might be you. Could you go on mute again? Sorry. Thank you.
Can I just ask quick? Do we
Yeah.
have consensus? Can we do them together, or do we have to do them separately?
I missed about a minute because my thing just froze, so I don't know what we decided on Christmas Eve.
Oh, sorry. I'm just wondering if we have consensus. If we
No,
can do
I
them
hear-
as one motion, or if we can do them.
That I heard you, but
separately.
what-
Okay.
Where did we land on Christmas Eve? Because that's where I got cut out when we were talking about that.
So right now, I have in my notes closing at 4 p.m. on November 24th, the day before Thanksgiving, and closing the library entirely on Christmas Eve. That's what I have in my notes. It sounded to me as though that's what everybody was sort of like leaning towards.
And how does this play forward in future years? Having not had this experience before.
It's
The decision this year does not impact next year.
no,
When
it's different every year. Well, it's,
Okay.
yeah, it depends on what day the holiday falls. Thanksgiving is always been, yeah.
So
Good.
historically, we've closed early on Thanksgiving, either Eve. We close at 4, and Christmas Eve we typically close at 1, I believe. If we look back historically, I think that's true. I don't remember ever closing for Christmas Eve, but I could be wrong. And New Year's Eve, we close early on the days that, New Year's Eve falls on the days that we were open till 9, we would close at 4. So I think typically New Year's Eve, we would close at 4, which we would be doing this year anyway, because it's a Friday.
So this year, we really only need to deal with Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yes.
So
Can you
does
hear me? I
anyone
just had to
want to
dial in
make
with my phone because my internet's being weird.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. No, you can't hear us.
Wait, I can hear. Okay. What's going on?
Okay, really.
Sorry. My screen keeps on freezing, so I switched to my phone. Now I can at least I can hear you in real time now.
School's closed on Christmas Eve? We close as half day?
That
We
is the
close.
start of December break.
So there's no school because sometimes it's a half day, right?
It is a full.
It's a full
day.
close.
We're always closed. Christmas Eve is always a holiday.
It's usually the 23rd is the questionable one.
Right.
Okay.
For schools. All right, someone make a motion.
All right. I make a motion to close at 4 o'clock before Thanksgiving and to close entirely on Christmas Eve.
Okay, so the motion 4 p.m. just to make sure I heard you correctly, Mira. 4 p.m. day before Thanksgiving, close all day Christmas Eve is the current motion.
Can I second? If I'm taking notes, I'll second.
Okay, Chris is seconded. So any further discussion? Anyone? All right, let's go. Kimberly.
Yeah.
Mira.
Yes.
Mark.
I'm going to abstain.
Ooh.
Chris.
Yes.
Does that mean I have to vote?
No.
It passes because there's a quorum. All right.
Spell abstention. I've never had to spell abstention before.
Mark, you're throwing too many curveballs here. All right. Sam, is there any other new business that we should know about?
That's all I
Anyone
got.
else have new business? Or other business? Why do we have new business and other business?
Other business was for things that we forgot to put on the agenda.
Which was the dates. Okay, so we're really there
Right.
right now. All right, so I think we are at the end of our agenda for tonight.
Okay. Move to close the meeting.
I second.
All right, Mark,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Mira,
Yes.
and Kimberly.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see everyone November 4th, hopefully in the new building. Bye.